You ever notice how some people seem to exist online, but without a face? You follow them. You see their likes, their comments, their thoughts, but when you scroll their profile, there are no selfies, no vacation photos, no mirror shots, just silence. And somehow, that silence feels louder than 1,000 posed smiles. Maybe you know someone like this, or maybe, if we're being honest, it's you, quietly present, visually invisible, watching the internet from behind a curtain. Because in a world where showing your face is almost a social requirement, choosing not to post your photos isn't random. It's psychological. So let's talk about the psychology of people who don't post their photos on social media, not as insecurity, not as antisocial behavior, but as a pattern, a mindset, a relationship with visibility itself. And there isn't just one reason. There are types, and chances are, you're one of them. Type 1, the privacy protector. This person doesn't avoid posting photos because they hate attention. They avoid it because they value control. They are deeply aware that once a photo is posted, it no longer belongs entirely to them. It can be saved, shared, screenshotted, taken out of context, interpreted in ways they never intended. Psychologically, this reflects strong boundary awareness and a high need for autonomy. These people are sensitive to where their identity ends and the public world begins. They don't want their face to become public property. If this is you, it's not about hiding. It's about choosing when, where, and by whom you're seen. Type 2, the self-separationist. This person doesn't want their identity reduced to their appearance. They've noticed something subtle. Once your photo is online, people often start relating to the image before they relate to the person. Judgments form quickly. Assumptions are made. Value becomes visual. Psychologically, this comes from identity prioritization, a preference for being known for one's thoughts, values, humor, intelligence, or creativity, rather than physical traits. They don't want their face to become the headline of their presence. If this is you, you might feel uncomfortable when attention shifts away from what you say and toward how you look. You want to be recognized for who you are, not how you appear. Type 3, the image realist. This is the person who deeply understands that social media images are illusions, angles, lighting, filters, posing, curation. They know a photo rarely represents reality. It represents a performance. Psychologically, this reflects high perceptual awareness and low tolerance for performative culture. They don't want to participate in a system that rewards distortion over honesty. They don't trust the visual economy of social media, not because they're bitter, but because they're observant. If this is you, it's not that you dislike your appearance. It's that you dislike how fake the system around appearance has become. Type 4, the emotionally self-sufficient. This person doesn't post photos because they don't need visual validation to feel real. They don't crave comments saying, "so pretty," or goals. Their sense of worth doesn't depend on reactions, hearts, or numbers. Psychologically, this reflects strong internal validation and emotional independence. Their self-image is built privately, not publicly. They enjoy social media, but don't feel compelled to perform for it. If this resonates, you might enjoy connection, humor, and content online, without ever feeling pressure to present yourself for approval. You already feel seen enough by yourself. Type 5, the observer. This person loves watching people, but doesn't want to be part of the spectacle. They enjoy scrolling, noticing patterns, understanding social behavior, reading between the lines of what people post and what they don't. Psychologically, this reflects a reflective or analytical orientation. These people process the world from the outside in. They prefer perspective over participation. They're not hiding, they're studying. If this is you, social media is less a stage and more a window. Type 6, the emotional protector. This type avoids posting photos because visibility feels emotionally risky. They may have experienced criticism, unwanted attention, judgment, or objectification in the past. Their nervous system learned that being seen can come with a cost. Psychologically, this reflects emotional self-protection, not insecurity. Their brain is prioritizing safety, not avoidance. If this is you, you might enjoy being online, but selectively, carefully, on your terms. Type 7. The anti-performative. This person doesn't post photos because they quietly reject the idea that life should be documented. They resist the pressure to package moments for consumption. They don't want experiences filtered through an audience. Psychologically, this reflects authenticity-driven values and resistance to social performance culture. If this is you, you might live deeply, but privately. And here's the part most people miss. Not posting your photos doesn't mean you're antisocial. It doesn't mean you're insecure. It doesn't mean you're hiding. Sometimes it means you relate to identity, visibility, and validation differently. And in a culture that equates being seen with being real, choosing not to be constantly visible is quietly radical. So let me ask you, which type are you? The privacy protector, the self-separationist, the image realist, the emotionally self-sufficient, the observer, the emotional protector, the anti-performative. Or maybe, like most humans, a blend of several. Understanding this isn't about forcing yourself to post more. It's about realizing that not posting is also a meaningful psychological choice. Because sometimes, not showing your face isn't fear. It's intention. And in a world that constantly asks you to display yourself, choosing when not to might be one of the most self-aware decisions you can make. If this made you see yourself, or someone you know, a little differently, that's not an accident. And if you enjoy these quiet, honest explorations of human behavior and inner life, you know where to find more. Just remember, not everything meaningful needs to be seen. Sometimes it just needs to be understood.